and hello again, and today I'm trying to sort out the mounts for this Ducati mudguard on my Norley. And as you can see, I've made some spaces which were required front and back to mount this narrow mudguard on these wider yokes. And the problem I've got is that even when I kind of position it where it needs to be, I can mark it and drill it, no doubt, to me it doesn't look quite right. And the reason for that is that these mounts are far too high on the forks than something like an original Ducati would be, which would have the mounts much lower down. And to make this look a bit better, I need to cut this mudguard and get rid of this mounting area here and cut it right back. And to be honest, it wouldn't look very good. I'm not happy with that at all. It just doesn't look right to me. So I've got a bit of a dilemma, and it's a pity that these mounts, and it's a pity these mounts aren't lower down the forks as they would be on the original Ducati for which this mudguard was made. I've got a problem because I just don't like the way this is going to look, particularly if I have to cut, oops, let's just take this off here, particularly if I need to cut this off here. It's just going to look really odd with the mounting points so high up. So what can we do? And I had an idea, so let's go inside and see what that might entail. And so here we are back indoors, and here we have my 1981 Ducati MHR, and its mudguard is identical to that I've got for my Norley. And as you can see, the way it's mounted to the fork leg is much lower down than on the Norley, and what I'm thinking of doing is trying to mimic this mount but on the Norley. And to do that, what I'll have to do is make a kind of bracket that bolts around the fork leg, and then I can slide it up and down and get the height right, and yeah, it should look something like that. I mean, it won't be the same because it'll have to be a lot thicker, of course, as it comes around here, but I think with a bit of work and a bit of care we can make it look pretty damn close. And at least then the mudguard will look like this, which is the way I want it to look. So I've just taken some measurements from the fork leg and the distances and so on, and with that information I can draw up a simple diagram, a simple schematic, and then we can get on and make a pair of brackets to go on the Norley. Okay, so here we have the start of my mudguard brackets. I see you've now roughly cut them out and drilled and tapped them, which is good. So these will be the sort of circular bits. They're the front bits, I guess.
I've got to carry on drilling them through. Yeah, I can do them.
Yeah, and these are the smaller ones. You can see there where it's been marked.
I was just working out how deep the bolt holes were going to go in.
You can see here where the scribes have been, where you've scribed it in the blue ink, so we can work out.
It was basically just to see how far we could take the 8mm in without it bursting through.
Yeah.
Which is where that line is virtually.
Okay, and of course you are working from my highly detailed technical drawings.
Technical drawing on a cornflakes packet.
No, it's not. It's not bad, this one. There's my quick drawing there, just saying the sort of distances that are important. That's got to be 15mm, that's got to be 15, whatever. And it's just a general, very simple schematic showing how it should look. We talk about it, and then we go ahead, or rather Jeff goes ahead and finds some scrap metal from his scrap pile, from his stocks, aluminium stocks,
yeah,
and then it gets made. And it gets made. It's all good. So kind of that's what it might look like, ish, but square at one end and round on the other side.
Well, them are the two outer ones.
Yeah, they're the two outer ones.
When they're milled round, obviously the depth of the hole,
yes, that's fine.
It'll come round and you'll see it on like a curve. The hole.
Yeah. So this will be machined as a circle, effective curve, which means that these holes will be cut at an angle, which is fine.
You may even see a little bit of the Allen bolt head.
Don't care.
It is not a lot you can do about.
Don't care. I like the idea. I'm fine with that.
Like a little bit of it.
Okay, and so we'll come back in a few days or so's time, and hopefully I can do a test fit of these things on the bike with the mudguard. Then the mudguard can be drilled and mounted, and finally I can take the mudguard and the tank back to Richie at the paint shop to get them both painted. So that's that. And so here we have one of the two mudguard brackets that Jeff's made for me from my rather basic diagram, and the idea is they'll clamp round the front forks and mimic the way the original Ducati had its front mudguard mounted. I've just done a quick test fit on the other one to see if it actually does mount correctly to the forks, and it does, so that's good. And so next I can then do some more work on these things, get them all polished up, or maybe leave them sort of satin finished. But what I want to do is perhaps round off these sharp edges here and here and around the corner there, just so that it doesn't stand out quite as much on the bike. And now here we are with a final test fitting before this front mudguard goes off for paint, and I'm just making sure everything lines up okay. These have been cut down a wee bit and it's been drilled to match the holes in these brackets here, and as you can see they've now been smoothed off to get rid of those sharp edges to hopefully now match up the design of this cast aluminium fork a bit better. They still need to be polished of course and cleaned up, but everything seems to match up okay, everything fits, so we'll call that a win. And now this mudguard needs to be removed and it can go off the paint along with my damaged paintwork on the fuel tank, which I did a while ago. So hopefully next week or so I'll take the mudguard and the tank back up to Richie at Motorcycle Paintworks FX and he can paint this thing just plain gloss black. I did think of putting some gold pinstripes on it, but I think that might be too much, so just plain gloss black will be fine, and then hopefully we can see this bike coming together at last. So anyway, thanks for watching and cheers.